What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. Okay, on to the next. So we already covered the fire splinter in a previous video. We are now moving on to water, and we'll be moving on through the rest of the elements in each of their own videos, just to keep it nice and clean. Now, as I said in the fire video as well, we've already talked about the summoners, so I'm going to skip Aquatis. I mean, the ability is the same throughout the entire level, so it's going to give you backfire. Now, what I want to make sure that I do, because I don't think I did it for the fire video, is see what the what's that called? The synergy between the summoner is. And I gotta say that I don't think Scargo really had as much synergy. I mean, Mortius could be cool, but Mortius has a little bit of a lower health. So, you know, and then Septic Slime could be cool. But this is the water video, so let's move on to water, shall we? Okay, so first time looking at any of these cards, I gotta say that the water cards, I think out of all of them, the water cards look the coolest. There's just something about the shade of blue and the way that the artwork is, the background, all of it. Like, I mean, maybe I'm just so in love with Kelia and all the monster cards already, or the water monster cards. But I just feel like the artwork here looks awesome, and I just love it. I think water is going to continue to be one of my favorite splinters to play, and we'll see if I end up liking Kelia or Aquatis more. But let's start with Coastal Nymph here. This is your first common card. We're going to have 2 commons, 2 rares, and then an epic and a legendary. Now, here is your Scattershot monster. 9 mana, so a hefty toll, a hefty mana price to pay, but you do get 2 armor, 7 health, and Scattershot with 3 damage. Now, I don't really like the speed at level 1. I mean, it gets, you know, it goes up 1 for, is there... okay, there is a difference here. So you get an extra armor from level 2 to level 3. So at max bronze, okay, again, I don't know the meta in bronze, and I don't know how this is going to change the meta in bronze, but in silver, you do get 4 damage for that 9 mana, so that's not terrible. Now, at the highest level, I'm sorry, not the highest, but in gold, you get Affliction. So now you got Scattershot and Affliction, which I don't necessarily dislike, but it's not, you know, the thing is, when you're trying to afflict somebody and stop them from healing, you kind of want to make sure that it is going where you're intending it for it to go. So Scattershot is like a little meh, but you know what? At the same time, what's great about Scattershot is the ability to circumvent taunt. So again, this is one of those things where if you throw it in, hopefully the RNG is on your side. And then when you get to the highest levels, you are doing 5 damage Scattershot with Affliction. I got to say already, it's a hefty mana price, and it's not my favorite card. I mean, I think I like all the fire cards more than this one. I don't see the utility on my end, at least not with the teams that I usually play for water. But let's go through the other cards and see if there's a good combo or something. So now we have Lemel Refugee, 7 mana card that comes with Void Armor. So decent tank. Actually, starting off, it's a decent tank with Void Armor for water, which I don't think water has right now. I'll usually play, what is that called? If I know I'm going to be up against Magic, I'll usually play someone like Legionnaire Alvar, or maybe even like Gargoyle Lion, right? When they get Void. So Void Armor comes at the most base level. You do get 2 damage for and 4 speed, which isn't bad. And then at maxed for bronze, you get that 3rd damage and 5 speed. So these are actually, I mean, these are decent tanks even in bronze. It's not terrible, not at all. Let's see here. In silver, you get increased health. That's it. And then in gold, you get the Enrage ability, which, you know, at this speed and damage should increase the damage to 5. And then, yeah, increase the damage to 5, increase the speed to 9. So this thing can be quite difficult to hit, which we should talk about pairs nicely with Aquatis on the backfire ability. Because, again, even in gold, when this thing gets damaged, even if you only have like a level 7, all of a sudden, this thing is going to be doing 5 damage and have a speed of 9. And if you pair it with someone else, like a Supply Runner or something like that, ooh, that thing's going to be hard to hit unless you're hitting it with magic. So that could be interesting. And then at the max level, you do get that 4th damage, which is kind of nice. So let's see here. Yeah, and then 4 damage, 4 shield, 6 speed, and 9 health. So I actually like this one. I think this could be a nice addition, or a nice, not addition, but a nice complement to Demon Shark, because Demon Shark's great and I love using Demon Shark, but there might be situations where you want to go heavy on magic, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it just makes sense to put like someone like Lemel Refugee in from a mana perspective, because it is 1 mana cheaper, and then you throw Flying Squid on the reach position, which gives it an additional bonus on the blind ability, and all of a sudden you might be doing damage by not even touching them at all, just because they can't touch you. Okay, so let's go to the rares now. We have Sea Stalker up first. Now this is another. Wow. Okay. Well, so this is another ranged card. And I was going to say 8 mana and 4 damage right off the bat, range damage. Now, what's interesting about this card is that you get snipe as well as camouflage. So you can hide this thing deep in the back line and not worry about it taking any hits. And it does provide a good snipe position for you. Now, what I really like about this, now it's okay. So in silver, you get an additional damage. So wow, now you're doing 5 snipe damage with 3 speed and camouflage. But where this thing gets interesting is here is another option for cleanse. So if you have cleanse here, I mean, this is crazy because again, with the meta right now, using someone like Wave Brood or Taunt or whatever the case is, everybody's trying to make sure that they can't heal it. So Affliction is going all over the place. So having this is such a nice complementary ability to make it not only a powerful attack card, but a great kind of like team support card as well. And then at the highest levels, this card also has headwinds, which is reducing the enemy's ranged attacks. So we're seeing headwinds. I think we've seen headwinds on both splinters that we've covered so far. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing that across all the splinters now. But a very nice complement, or a very nice collection of abilities here for this monster. Again, 8 mana is a little heavy, but sometimes you get those 60 mana games and you just want to fill them up, right? So this is kind of a nice option on the water side. Okay, now let's go to Water Collar. Here is another stun monster. Did we get a stun? No, we didn't get a stun. So here's a stun monster. We didn't get a stun monster on both levels, but here is your stun monster. So at level 1, really slow, really weak, 5 mana and 5 health. Not my favorite. Okay, not my favorite at the base level. Not even my favorite at the secondary level. Now, when you are in gold, you do get Reflection Shield, which makes for a nice option in certain instances. So, for example, I really like Tidebiter and having Tidebiter, playing Tidebiter in Blast rule sets behind, Wave Brood or whatever the case is. He plays well from that reach position. But in some games, you can't play melee monsters, and you might still get a Blast rule set or something like that. So this is kind of nice in the sense that you can pair this with, someone like a Wave Brood and throw it in. Now, the other thing that is often forgotten about Reflection Shield is that you also don't take return fire. So think about all of the monsters, especially with Grandmaster Wraith out right now. I love doing Magic Reflect. So here is a monster that can now not only stun, but will not take any damage back, amplified or not. It will not take any damage back on that Magic Reflect. So this is a card I really like at the higher levels once it gets Reflection Shield. And then obviously at max level, you're going to get that 3rd damage for 5 mana, which is a good enough ratio for me with this collection of abilities. So I really like Water Collar. Okay, we have already looked at Aquatis. We've looked at everybody else. So let's go over to Rune Master Kai. This is your legendary monster. Now this monster is technically a giant at 10 mana. It comes with flying and life leech, to go along with 5 armor, 7 health, 2 damage, 2 magic damage, and 2 speed. So just okay at the. I mean, it's cool to get life leech at any level. So I'm not too mad about that. And then it's not like water doesn't have enough flying monsters. So here's another one to add to the mix. And man, I love the artwork, dude. Look at that. That is phenomenal. Okay, so in silver, you get that additional 3rd damage. In gold, you get Amplify, which I am very curious to know because I'm trying to think of, there's not many, there's not many like Thorns, Return Fire. Okay, so Wave Brood has Return Fire, but that's at max level. And I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any other like Thorns or at least within the Chaos Legion and Riftwatcher meta. So that'll be interesting to see. I wonder. I wonder though. Well, we have to check the neutral cards and see. And I think the neutral legendary had what's that called? Thorns, I believe. So maybe you can pair it up with that. And then at the highest levels, you get the 4th damage as well. So not a terrible card for 10 mana. Obviously expensive, but we knew that these cards were going to be powerful. Now the question you need to ask yourself is this card absolutely dominant and worth it at 10 mana for most games? And I would say probably not. And I think that's going to be the theme with most of the cards in Riftwatchers. I think the balance that is happening within the game, or the rebalancing that's happening within the game, is that a lot of these cards are not going to be like your Jotins or your Krons that are just dominant in like all rule sets or in a lot of rule sets, but dominant in very specific ones, which causes you to go in and try to pick the best team for the rule set and as a counter against your opponent. So I like it. I will tell you right now, I don't know how much I would use it. Now, what will be interesting is that what will be interesting is if Amplify also included Backfire, because now imagine playing Runemaster Kai with Aquatis and all of a sudden them missing all over the place and taking an additional damage. But it does not, and I don't think that's a bug or anything. I don't think that's going to be changed. So overall, big fan of the cards. I am very excited to play Water. There's several cards here that I really like, including Lamel Refugee and Watercaller, and then I think we even like Sea Stalker as well. So there's going to be some fun meta changes, which will be great. So that's all I have for you guys in this one. We're just doing the Water one, so keep an eye out. I will do the Earth one next. Catch you all in the next video. I'll see you around the game. Take care.